It's Monday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Mariah Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Takbe Mako Dige. How you doing? So what's the story about this outfit that everybody's talking about?
Made in Nigeria.
Wow.
And that's
corporate wear.
Corporate wear, something we should be proud of, because at first everybody assumes it's probably from Turkey or some other imported outfits, and it actually is made in Nigeria. And we must encourage Nigerians to patronize made in Nigeria outfits, because there are many people.
Look, you know what's interesting? About 5 years ago, when this conversation started, let us start doing Nigeria. When the whole new conversation narrative, like, let us wear Nigeria, eat Nigeria, it seemed so far-fetched. But 5 years, 10 years down the line, we are seeing that people are actually doing stuff, and it's great.
Despite the challenging landscape of Nigeria, people are making it work. So my weekend was very, very boring. I did not drive. Immediately I packed my car on Friday. I have not driven until this morning. I said I've driven enough to last me 1 week. So I took a break all through the weekend. But I watched Die Hard 4 yesterday, and it was super interesting. Like, you see a movie of 2007, and it's still very engaging. Like, very old movie, but it was still really nice.
Was it Bruce Willis again?
It's the same Bruce Willis. Just do something that's timeless, you know, do something that people will watch 10 years, 20 years, and they'll still enjoy watching it, or relevant, you know, be relevant in your goals and all of that.
How you doing, Mariam?
I'm doing
I love
great.
your outfit.
Thank
I think
you
it's so
very
beautiful.
much. Yeah, the ladies of the TVC wardrobe are doing really good.
Ah, this is the wardrobe?
Yeah. But everyone's looking quite lovely today.
It's also TVC wardrobe.
Yeah.
Me and Ramota, they are really, really on point these days. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm amazing.
The dolphins, no, not the dolphins, the vultures.
The vultures are well. The vultures would actually need much more of your support.
Okay.
Save them,
what would you like us to do? Tell us.
I would like for you to talk about vultures more. I would like to have that conversation with people, because every day I meet people and they're hearing about the vultures and the role that they play in our environment for the first time ever. Like, great. Really? I just thought it's something that, like, they're a nuisance. We have to just do away with them.
Right, so let's make it a topic. Let's find a day. We'll talk to the producers. Let's make it, today we're talking about vultures, and we'll hope you come as a guest, and we'll have the full conversation. Yeah, let's talk about, take pictures, let's talk about a doll,
what vultures?
Dolphins. Yeah, let's do a whole 360 on them.
Yeah, that would be nice. And maybe inside with my book as well, because it's all about vultures.
Oh, lovely. We love that. How are you doing, Obiajulu?
I'm doing amazing. We bless God.
You look lovely.
I had a thank you. TVC wardrobe as well.
They're really hooking us up.
Yeah. So I did a job all through yesterday. It was a TV commercial. Yay. So I haven't done auditions in a long while, because the stress of audition. So this particular one, the agent sent it to me. I said, BC, just try. So it was something easy. They sent me the script, enacted. My daughter was home, so I did it on TikTok. That was how I even gave birth to my Mama Ju. So I did it on TikTok and I sent it. And then I was shocked when he called me that you have been picked for the job. It was a TV commercial, and I shot yesterday, and it was fun.
We're going to see you on TV commercials.
And the money is actually bigger than acting.
Imagine
so
that.
Just a few seconds and...
Oh, man, we love it. Well done. We need more of that.
Yeah.
So what are you going to get me?
When the money comes,
I'll take you guys. Is she an agent?
No.
You don't want something.
Don't take me.
You want something?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Right.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. I tell you, I'm having parties back here. Yes. Like last weekend. A new friend of mine invited me to her birthday party. This nice exclusive club on an island. Some people things are happening in this country.
Telling you.
So you just enter a place and want to this like in Lagos. Is this Lagos? Am I still in Lagos? But it was nice, it was fun. I met new people. I saw I met you there.
Yeah, I saw the pictures.
He said, I said, we're not happy with you. He called us girls. I said, are you not girls? I said, no, we're ladies, you know, we're ladies of your view. So he said that he would love to definitely come back. And it was a nice company, met new friends. I met a lady that had no idea. Has never seen the show. And it was just refreshing. Talking to just somebody that, you know,
doesn't know you.
Yeah, just having a conversation. And we hit it up like the same in so many ways. So we just...
Wait, so no one went to Oba?
Oh,
I went to
nobody went to Oba.
I think we enjoy Oba more than those that
who were there, right?
Because the way we're all monitoring up from Friday, I was glued. But let us not lie. All of us watched. Even till this morning, they are still reviewing Oba. So Oba is finally on the map, because we always know Nnewi.
Yeah.
We know but now we know Oba in Anambra. If anybody talks about Anambra, the first thing I will say, Oba. Have you been to Oba?
I'm just thinking that maybe our country knows where to borrow money from now. We don't have to go to China. We can go to Oba.
But I'm definitely going to visit Auburn, and I hope these people are going to invest in Auburn, make it a make it a beautiful town to go. That would be nice, because now that Auburn is on the map, we like to make it a tourist center. All right, let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we go through the front pages of the papers. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
All right, start with the nation. States repayment of $2.1 billion threatens workers' wages. Investors stake 5.8 billion naira on banks in dividend rush. Insecurity, Ibadan Obas Council faults Makinde. Lagos APC Council poll candidates get flag. Banditry presidency knocks Kuka over claims. All right, which story are we taking?
Okay, let me
major
take
headline?
a major headline.
Yes.
So we know that the bailout that was given to the states and it's been announced that this was after the NEC meeting on Thursday, that payments will soon start being made by the states. And the states are a bit worried because they feel that in starting these repayments, it would affect their ability to pay salaries. And these bailouts were actually taken for that purpose, to be able to pay salaries. And now they've asked for a sort of a facility, they call it a bridging facility, that gives them about 6 months. It doesn't really tell us specifically what the instrument is and the exact facility it is, but I think it gives them sort of like a leeway of 6 months, and then they have to start paying.
Okay.
So I have the YX story.
Yes, please.
Said over 1.6 million candidates are expected to participate in this year's West African Senior School Certificate Examination, scheduled to hold on August 16. And so the head of National Office of West Africa Examination, Mr. Patrick Arega, gave the figure during an interview, and he was saying that they are working hard to accommodate some schools that are late in their registration. It's going to pose a challenge to them, but they are working hard. And, writing an examination is not something that's easy. There would be a lot of challenges, but they are working to ensure with, the COVID-19 around the corner, we have the cases of insecurity. They're also working hard to ensure that the examiners and the guides for that exams are, they are protected during the examinations, and also that people who are coming in thinking they can do exam malpractice and get away with it, they have technology now to fish them out.
Right.
So basically,
okay, one more story, Nation.
I was taking the local government story. I think we need to raise awareness of every Lagosian to the fact that local government election will be this weekend. The APC over the weekend at their office in Acme Road handed over the APC flag, to the candidates for each of the chairman candidates, and were told to also give the flag to councillorship, and they should not tamper with the list of councillorship. Apparently, maybe they've heard wind about it. They were also all instructed that the election should be peaceful. They shouldn't do anything that would disrupt the trust and the process of election. Everybody should sensitize their wards within their environment and ensure the election process is peaceful. But I want to sensitize every Lagosian to get involved in the electioneering process. The election will be this weekend. Check out the candidates and make
At least I know
choice.
the one in Koshofe. Is it the
Yes.
Samiat or something? I know that. So,
Samiat.
but we don't see the other parties. I've not seen their flyers.
It's
only the
it's
Samiat.
only APC to
Yeah.
APC.
Okay, the punch. Buhari's aid defends rejection. NBA others say resolution illegal and selfish. Picture here, commuters groan as ram sellers buyers block Lagos Ibadan Expressway. Makinde running one-man show mismanaging insecurity, says Ibadan Monarchs. Command goes after Zamfara gunmen as bandits kill 13 policemen. River Basin writes Osonolu Abiodun on Oyo Dam's water release. ECOWAS counsel Nigerians to raise VAT on hotel and others. FG plans 12.3 billion naira subsidy for 2 million farmers. And external reserves drop by $180 million in 2 weeks. Okay, let's start.
with the commuters.
Okay, go ahead. Let's start with the picture
Lagos
story.
Ibadan Expressway. So on Sunday, commuters were stranded at the Lagos Ibadan Expressway. According to their story, they said because of the ram sellers, came out on the road to display their ram, and so cars were parked on both sides trying to buy that ram. Aside from that, they also complained about the hike in transport fares. They said a journey from Lagos to Ibadan that normally takes them 2,000 was now 3,000 to 5,000 naira. Wow. From Lagos to Warri, that usually was 5,000, was now 8,000 naira. You know, and drivers were complaining. People who were boarding the, they are asking for help from the government.
People don't realize the impact of what they're doing. It took us like 3 hours to eat our lunch yesterday because we went to the market and we couldn't get back home.
Wow. Traffic.
Yeah. Okay, so let me take the ECOWAS story.
Yes,
so there was a meeting in Abuja which ended on Friday, and it was talking about VAT. So the ECOWAS Director of Domestic Tax was saying that it's not economic wisdom that Nigeria is paying less on VAT than Niger Republic. It says that Nigeria is the least paying VAT in the entire West Africa. Wow. You know, when we say it, when our people say it, we get upset. Like, people are looking for our money, but in the whole of West Africa, we're paying less VAT, even less than Niger Republic, and saying that there are other ways in which we could raise tax, especially on luxury items like alcoholic beverages, perfumes, wines, and hospitality industry. And that's just it. He says that this will be on, it will be on these luxury items, which will not affect the common man, the common Nigerian man.
Let me take the major headlines. So there's been quite a lot of back and forth concerning the electronic transmission of results. Remember, the Senate had voted, and they had people who voted for and against. And the NBA spokesperson was saying that the fact, the attaching conditions to electronic transmission of election results would whittle down the powers of INEC. Although others had defended the Senate, like the special advisor to the president on political matters, Babafemi Ojudu, saying that the issues raised by lawmakers should be considered. I mean, and especially the fact that the House was specific, saying that the reason why they voted against it was not because they are against transmission of results electronically, but they're saying because right now we're not ready. If NCC is telling us only 50% of polling units can transmit results appropriately, then it's wrong for you to disenfranchise 50% of others, and not for them it's not time for us to do it. We should wait for NCC to be able to guarantee that every part of the country can actually transmit electronically before we can then begin to make it a law.
We disagree with them.
That is what
we feel 50% can start now. There's enough time. There's a whole program that INEC also has on ground. And there's a timeline, so start on that timeline.
So those guys that don't vote, that within those communities, they shouldn't vote?
Start putting it in place. There's time. There's time to put it in place.
I would say the story of federal government planning to give farmers money. So over 2.2 million farmers are going to be getting funds from the president. The federal government in the next few weeks will be paying out 12.3 billion naira as a farm subsidy, monetary subsidy to farmers. They said that about 1.2 million farmers will be getting a lot soon. They've been verified. Their BVN has been verified. They also have a Nigerian interbank settlement system, which has also verified their location and their business to be sure these people are truly farmers and they'll be getting the funds sent into their accounts. I hope we have like a KPI to measure what the money will be used for over time. Okay,
let's go to a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue with the review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Mom, we've got you now and always with the low cholesterol goodness your heart needs to keep the rhythm of your family going. 3 Crowns Milk. Healthy moms, happy families.
Thank goodness. Now that Grandma is here, I can take my leave. My flight is in 2 hours, honey. You know how the traffic is.
But, honey, you still need to drop me off at the hospital.
Not to worry, honey. That has been settled. I booked an appointment already using the Clearline HMO app on my phone.
You know we already have a plan with them.
Wow, interesting.
Clearline HMO provides you with flexible healthcare service right when you need it. You can pre-schedule and book specialist services at your convenience.
Hello, Mama. Is everything fine?
My son, our baby is here.
With Clearline HMO, you've got a health partner with a cutting-edge solution whenever and wherever. Get your health managed by subscribing to any of our healthcare plans available to individuals and corporate organizations. For more information, log on to www.clearlinehmo.net. Clearline HMO, the health insurance people.
Capri Sun Funland. Can't wait. Hey!
Entry denied.
No artificial colors, no artificial sweeteners, no preservatives.
Nothing artificial.
Next up, the water slide.
Nothing artificial and great taste. Capri Sun, the taste of fun. Capri Sun, a product of Chi Limited.
Akpa, what's your job?
I help people grow all kinds of things. I help people keep and grow their money, so later they come back when it's bigger for themselves.
Akpa, you're a magician!
Just like a pilot, I help people move from where they are to where they want to be.
Thank you, Akpa.
ARN, invested in your tomorrow.
Ankara shopping with the right place for.
That one no fine.
No, nice.
No, it's too dull.
This one.
Oh wow, it's beautiful. Omo, this fabric, it gon' fade though.
Yeah. Look, make I tell you something. The new area Ankara, it go take good care of it.
No right.
Not lie, not true.
But the price
Cheap.
Try new Ariel on your Ankara and colors now.
With my pregnancy, I started looking for the best of everything for my baby. When I met Morphix Newborn, I said this is the diaper I'm looking for. The formula of happiness for me is Morphix Newborn. There are no harmful substances in Morphix. I feel very comfortable while my baby sleeps peacefully. With its special umbilical cord and soft upper surface. Come on, mothers, try Morphix Newborn and join our happiness movement.
Breakfast gets you up to a great day. How do I know? Because my daddy goes through his work feeling good and always with a smile. Mommy is always filled with confidence. My sister is always in tune. And for me, learning new things becomes absolute fun. That's because all day and every day, the peak goes on.
Start your day with a Peak Protein breakfast. Peak. Reach for your peak.
All right, thanks for staying with us. Right, there's one more story in Punch, Miriam.
Yeah. So the members of Ibadan Traditional Council, it says they have berated Governor Makinde for the way he's handling insecurity. They do not feel that he's involving them as much in how he's handling this. And they're saying, you know, that the style of the government is as if he leaves them out of all the conversations concerning insecurity. And it's not that they have anything personally against the governor himself, but just the way he's handling this, and that he definitely needs their help to solve the insecurity problems in their communities. And they were saying that they're asking leaders of the various communities to raise vigilante groups in order to stem this insecurity. But a spokesperson for the governor is saying that there's no how the governor would do this without their help, and that it seems like they're exaggerating, because he has called for meetings with the Traditional Council various times in discussing this insecurity. I guess maybe they're just not feeling quite heard. Yeah. Maybe they're not feeling heard. So.
All right, moving on quickly now to the point. PDP leaders in fresh plots to remove secondus before convention. FG's credit guarantees to power sector contractors others to hit 7.38 trillion naira by December, says investigation. Mother of one faces prosecution for joining Eye confraternity, assaulting man in Oshun. And beggars return to Ibadan streets days after mass evacuation. Okay, let's take BC.
Yeah, so the Osun State Police Command has confirmed the arrest of a suspected female cultist, Azizatu Omoboriowo. They said she allegedly terrorizes residents with her gang, and she's a mother of one, a 23-year-old young lady, and she was caught. So
23?
23. So according to her story, she said she joined the Eye confraternity through one of her boyfriends. She has actually dated two that were in the cult, and she was, making an attempt to, kill one particular man who was in a rival cult, yes, when she was caught. And she said, so the police had, said that they saw her, they caught her with ammunitions in her custody, but she denied it, said she didn't have any form of ammunition. She was just an ordinary cult member, and she hasn't been terrorizing citizens. So the matter is still in court. And,
yeah, the beggar story.
Yeah, so the beggar story. They say beggars are back in Ibadan after the effort of the government to evacuate them from the metropolis. So I think this was 3 weeks after, and many of them are back. Some to the exact positions that they were taken away from. So the word on the street is that most of these people are beggars from the north, northerners, and that it is difficult really because most of these people are struggling for what to eat, and things like that. So they depend on the begging for to feed and to take care of themselves. The government also, that's the Oyo State government has said that this is not even the first time in 2021 that they have done this. This is like the third time that they have done this. So and there's a center, yes, and there's a center that they take them to take care of their health, and those who need like wheelchairs and things like that. There are different centers that they take them, but they still come back. I think this is just a serious economic, well, I don't know about habit, just economic problem. And when people are able to feed and have jobs, many of them would not willingly want to be on the streets begging.
You think so? You think so?
To
I speak for many
results
people,
transmission. We are not against INEC, says reps. For giving Nnamdi Kanu facilitate his release on Hannah tell Southeast governors. OPEC, non-OPEC ministers increase Nigeria's oil output by 30%. Insecurity, Serap Huriwa kick as NBC warns broadcasters against inflammatory newspaper headlines. Vanguard Personality of the Year means a lot to me, says Governor Sanwo-Olu. You are sowing discord, strife among Nigerians, presidency tells Bishop Kuka. And Germany decries insecurity in Nigeria. All right, so I actually have the story with Serap. Okay. Serap has taken the federal government to court. And I think I have that story here. Let me get that story. And obviously, while I'm looking for that, go ahead.
Yes, so in Port Harcourt, a pro-German government political party foundation, Conrad, expressed, so they had a workshop on promoting interagency collaboration and conflict resolution for personnel of security agencies in Nigeria. And one of the things they expressed was that the escalating insecurity issues in the country is as a result of the fact that the security agencies are not collaborating enough. There's a distrust between them. They are not working together. And one of the reasons they are not working together is because there is an overlapping of responsibilities. So the federal government needs to come in to, recreate their responsibilities, open up, we have deep conversations with them so that they know where one's responsibility stops from the other. When that overlapping has been sorted, then they can work together. But now it seems that one is doing one's job, and then because they don't trust each other, they are not working together to solve the insecurity issues, and among other things.
So Sarah has asked the federal government through the NBC, which situates under the Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, that they should, within 24 hours, withdraw the directive containing a sweeping gag order banning journalists and broadcasters from reporting details. If you recall, back in, I think it was July 7th, that the NBC had issued a letter asking journalists, television and radio stations in Nigeria to stop glamorizing and giving too many details on the nefarious activities of terrorists and kidnappers during their daily newspaper reviews. So what they are saying in essence is that, as we're discussing, we shouldn't be discussing the issue of insecurity and banditry, or it shouldn't be in the front pages either, because therefore we are glamorizing it and taking attention to it. And people have come for the NBC saying that if things are happening in our town, should we talk about it to the government? Yeah, but it was still the NBC saying that this is wrong for you to, it's another way of gagging the press. And then we link it up to other things they are doing. We have the press council bill, we have so many other factors, and everything just coming into play. Like, is this like a deliberate attempt to totally silence the voice of the people?
Let me take the OPEC story. So the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, and even non-OPEC member ministers had a meeting, and due to the response and recovery from COVID, because due to COVID, there was a major drop in oil prices, and then all OPEC members had to shrink their production. Now there's been improvement in demand for oil, and the value for crude has gone up. So it's been permitted that the output should be raised by 30%. This will be very good for Nigeria, because our budget already was considering the previous output. So in 2022, our budget should see better cash flow coming into our country, even though we know that the long-term solution to our economic crisis isn't through oil. That's not going to be the solution, but we're still okay with this.
All right. Let's move on directly to Daily Sun. Presidency knocks Bishop Kukah hard. Kanu Ohaneze groups in UK march against Igbo genocide July 24th. 36 state bishops invoke God's presence for peace and unity. Low local government autonomy can curb insecurity, say stakeholders. 17 killed, 2 injured in Osun, Lagos crashes.
I'm at a loss on which story to take, so I think I should just
Who has a major headline? Bishop Kukah.
Who has a Kukah story?
She has a Kukah story. So let me take the 16 that died in Osun road accident. So they said about 16 people lost their lives to 2 separate accidents. One happened in Etu Ijesha, Ilesha Highway, Saturday evening. Another happened on Bogon Oshobo Expressway. So the one that happened in Etu Ijesha, Ilesha Highway, said that I think it happened by 5:40 p.m. Powerline area. They said 4 males, 4 females, and 6 children were killed. They died instantly, and the accident involved 18 passengers in a hole. The bodies have been deposited in the morgue, and the road cleared to avoid gridlock on the highway. And they said that the way the accident happened, the Toyota collided with the Sienna, and the police received a distress call by 5:45 p.m. on Saturday evening about the accident. They're trying to clear the roads. By the time the police got there, they met dead bodies on the scene, and they have taken them to the morgue. So one of the things they said was the causes of these accidents is just due disobedience to road safety ordinances by motorists. They are not paying attention to roads and all of that. So he didn't mention this time around that there was maybe loss of control. Right. So I don't even understand what that road disobedience means right now. But
okay, I have a story. Okay, so the story is how local government autonomy can curb insecurity. Right. So stakeholders across all sectors, many of them include Chairman, Senate Committee on Rules and Business, Nigerian Union of Teachers, and so many others. They had this meeting virtually, and really they're just asking the National Assembly and the State Houses of Assembly to intensify efforts in ensuring full local government autonomy in the ongoing constitution amendment process. Okay. And they're saying that if there's local government autonomy, it will combat high level of insecurity, poor education funding at the primary level, poor health infrastructure will be catered for. It will enable substantive administration. It will take governance closer to the people for improved service delivery, all the things that we know and, you know, always talk about. And so they're saying it's important to have local government autonomy.
Right. Let me take the major headlines. So the presidency, speaking through the senior special assistant for media publicity, Malam Garba Shehu, that it takes a warped mind for a critic to believe that it is ethnicity and religion that is playing a role in the challenges facing this country. Speaking concerning the statement by Bishop Kukah concerning the insecurity and how churches it's affecting a lot of churches.
Let me situate it, Sokwe. So Bishop Kukah attended a virtual presentation to Tom Lantos Human Rights Commission in DC, where he was saying that according to that's where he was making those statements. And so
I told the story last week as well. You mentioned the fact that a lot of churches, the bishops the religious leaders that got kidnapped, the school that got kidnapped recently was also a Christian school where the children were kidnapped. So the president is now replying that it is not, what he's saying was wrong.
This is beyond religion.
This is beyond religion or ethnicity. This is a major crisis, and they are generally knocking him for making such statements on an international platform and that is dividing.
It's divisive.
It's a divisive comment.
All right. I think that's all we can take on Front Page Review. When we return, we'll discuss our hot topics. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
No more get up and go. Kids, we need you. Get going.
For the energy you need to get up and go every day, enjoy Cowbell Choco.
You won't go shake your body. Instead, they make it calm down. Eat the farm say it's happy. You want to grow 6 packs in a day. I beg you not to pass your power. You want to show yourself.
Whatever your size, find it with the new Electoral data plans. Dial *141# now to get the plan that suits you. Airtel, the smartphone network.
It no matter who you be, you better go enter body. It no matter where you there, I beg you start to jolly. Different groove, we dey sell. Now we get the vibe, yo. Enjoyment, celebration, na.
Think Chapman. Drink smooth.
Kehinde suffers from indigestion. His twin Taiyi suffers from heartburn. Sometimes it's the other way around, or both. That's why they use Gaviscon Double Action. It soothes within 3 minutes and lasts for up to 4 hours. For double relief from heartburn and indigestion, Gaviscon Double Action.
After purchasing Adron's land, this is the gift we got, the Ileya gift. I purchased the land and here's the gift items as regards the Ileya promo. For giving me 3 rams. I actually collected one last week. And these are the remaining ones. Fulfilled the promises. I made the purchase and they gave me what they promised I was going to get for it.
They are very real and reliable. You can trust them any day, anytime.
Adron Homes, making the incredible affordable.
See, nurse, she's saying she feels unwell, despite my efforts to practice good hygiene.
Mom says wash your hands to keep the germs away.
Washing hands is good, but surfaces can also have germs, and you shouldn't use just anything for cleaning them. Use Jig. Jig's formula has been scientifically proven to stay active for longer, giving you whitening and germ kill protection on a variety of surfaces. Disinfect to protect, just Jig it. Endorsed by National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives.
Someday when I grow up, I would like to be a great innovator, or a singer, or a doctor, or even a president.
I believe my son can achieve anything. That's why I support his dreams with Twisco. It's a delicious mix of cocoa, malt, and milk. Twisco is fortified with Enforts, a special blend of vitamins and minerals that provides the nourishing support to get ahead.
Twisco, power your dream.
Thanks for staying with us. So, if you're in Lagos last week Friday, you would have experienced something called heavy rainfall that caused severe flooding in many parts of Lagos metropolis. This flood led to the loss of valuable properties, with many Lagos residents still counting their losses as of this morning. We'll be having with us a special advisor to the governor of Lagos State on drainage and water resources, Engineer Joe Igbokwe, very soon. He's almost here. But while we're waiting for him, I'd like the ladies to share their experiences, because all of us experienced Friday. You know how I always have confidence that, listen, only island gets flooded. The mainland is like, you know, that's the reason I can never go to the island, because mainland is high ground. You know, we can never see flooding. Hey,
God not disappointed you.
Ikorodu flooded. I was in my very before, because I was like, what? Because while the rain was pouring, I was like, I can just imagine those guys in Lekki. I feel bad for them. Lekki, imagine what they're going through right now. When I drove out of Maryland and I entered Ikorodu Road, oh my Lord, the cars were just like this. They were floating, they were swimming. I was like, what? Ikorodu mainland flood? I said, this is different. It took me almost 3 hours, 2 hours and about 40 minutes to come from Maryland to Magodo. You know, and obviously lots of video, I mean, even BRT buses got flooded, Marina was flooded. So let me come to talk about, how was your experience?
No, it was not good. It was terrible.
So your car didn't damage, yeah?
No. Okay. It wasn't flood. You know, so I didn't understand the flooding. I had to now go on social media to realize. I just saw the traffic.
So yours was traffic?
It was just the traffic. A journey, usually getting to my kids' school from my house is like 15 minutes, tops 20 minutes. It took me 4 hours to get to the children's school, like 4 hours in traffic. And I was just like, you know, when you want to now put medicine on death, it was a case of my AC now. You know, the AC stopped working, because when I now switch it on, the car would stop. So I had to switch off the AC and they were in traffic. So I was like, AC is not working, we are in traffic, you are going to be happy. At the point, I was not having muscle pull from brake. I'm like, you're not going to cry. At the point, I started crying. I cleaned my face and myself. I said, you will get to school, your children will be fine. Because I can just imagine that the kids will be, they don't have snacks. It's not like we didn't plan. It's 2:30, they will have been at home, and it was already 5 o'clock. I was looking at them and I was like, you know, I cried, cleaned my tears by myself.
You'll be thinking, are the teachers still there?
Yes.
You know, who are they with?
I just really felt very, very bad that, you know, it was just a very terrible experience. When we were going back home, my kid said, you came so late. I said, did you see the traffic? Look at the traffic. Just don't even say anything.
Weren't other parents
There were a lot of other, there were like over 20 children still waiting to school as at past 6. I got to the school to pick them up at past 6.
Wow.
And I could see even all the teachers are gone. It was like the reception, the two ladies at the reception, they were also about to go, because I think they waited till like 6 o'clock that we have tried, you know, before they could go. But it was a really, really terrible traffic, and that's why I didn't drive again. I felt 6 hours of traffic in one day is enough.
My husband left the house at 2 p.m. He didn't get there till 4:30, so he was a bit even better than you. But he got home 4 hours after. It took him 4 hours to get back home.
So me, I left the show now. We finished 11, right? And that day I came to work with my children.
Oh, I was
They were all in the car. Thank God for Chin. I always carry snacks. So by the time I came out, a journey that would have taken us 45 minutes to get home, we got home like 4:30. That's from 11 that we left this place. The traffic was, and it was so bad that as we were going on the road, you go this way, a car has stopped. You go that way, a car, you know, on the two sides, cars were stopping. The flooding was horrible all through till we got to our destination. A bit, we bless God, we bless God for that, but it was horrible. So my husband called me on the phone, like, baby, there's water inside my car. I said, yeah, where are you? And he explained he was just coming out, and you know, by the time we got home, we had to sun dry the car, started bailing. The drivers were bailing out water from his car. I was feeling really bad for him, you know, but the traffic was just so, everywhere was blocked. On the express, it was flooded. So I had to beg my driver, you have to drive slowly. So we don't, you know, we're fighting different battles right now. And he had to put off the AC at some point, because he, according to his explanation, if the AC is on, it could easily enter the engine and whatever. So we put it off, we put it on. It was a horrible experience. By the time we got home this morning, they said, Mommy, yesterday night, are we following you to work today? I said, no, you people, you need to
stay home. Stay home. Even I had to call you. I said, wait, here, how are the children? Are they okay in the traffic? Hi, Dima. How was yours?
Fine. Mine was interesting because I was live while it was happening. So I left and the rain started while I was on 3rd Mainland Bridge and was quite heavy. So I put it on my Instagram live. I had a few people, watching as well. So what I noticed, I've noticed this many times, is that when you're on the road while it is raining, the traffic is usually minimal.
Yeah.
Because once it starts to subside, that you have more cars now coming out.
Yeah.
So the traffic wasn't so bad, but already you could see that places were flooding. Luckily for me was my daughter is still in school, so I had this jacket. All I wanted to do was get to her, because I remember how she dressed to school. Like, she needed something warm. So I went to the school and they were like, no, Ma, these jackets, they don't allow them, only school. I said, not in these circumstances. She needs this jacket right now. And they sent it to her, and she was like, thank you, Mommy. It came at the right time, kept her warm. But there was lots of flooding everywhere. And, to see the pictures and the videos later on.
Yeah, so I was going to ask, I saw a WhatsApp message of somebody, I can't remember the name, but he was advising on how to not turn on the car, let the, not even like, while the water, let the water subside. Okay. Don't just take it to the mechanic. Tow it to the mechanic, and then they will now know what to do. But don't even try to start your car while in that condition. So we'll try to also have advice on going around on how to maintain your vehicle.
When the video of the marina, the marina car lot showed up online, and I could see many cars submerged. My thought was just like, while others are crying, some people are going to be smiling. The towing vehicles will be smiling, the mechanics will be smiling, spare part sellers will be smiling, because you need to replace a lot of things in the car. I feel really bad for all those who took their car to work and this had to happen to them. Now we need to be considering
when you park
insurance. No, you have to consider, you have to insure against everything, because anything can happen and you need to be on the safe side.
I felt really bad for those, because if you look at the parking lots beside these ones, this particular one that was flooded, they were fine. So I'm like, can you imagine someone driving? Can you imagine someone driving that morning and thinking, let me just park here today. Maybe the person has never parked there ever before, and then this happens. It's so.
I don't even know that. But I don't know. Well, we're going to go on a break. When we come back, we hope to have the special advisor to the governor on this to help us understand what the government has done concerning drainages. He's a special advisor on drainage and water resources. What can be done? What caused this in the first place, and what can we do to ensure it doesn't happen again? Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we continue the conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Minister for Enjoyment is what everyone calls me, because I love to enjoy myself.
So creamy. So good.
Enjoyment Minister, can we get back to the meeting?
Sorry, Cowbell Evaporated Milk is delicious milk that is carefully formulated to retain its creaminess and great taste.
Even hubby loves the creamy taste.
So creamy.
So good.
At the first sign of pain, you need a solution that you can trust. Try Panadol Caplets. With Panadol's Optizorb formula, the tablet absorbs quickly and starts providing fast and effective pain relief you can trust. Try Panadol Caplets.
Rain or shine, I'm gonna take Kelvin, someone just bashed your car. What? How bad is it? Very bad. All right, come on, we'll fix it. Kelvin, I said someone just bashed your car.
Calm down. Get the Leadway Auto Insurance now.
Here today, gone tomorrow. 'Cause you volatile like the water. And you promise what you don't know. Sometimes it's right and then it's so wrong. Them go do like say them wise. Go promise you the world. My brother all now worship. Up all on the open eye. I see no fear water. Can't kill up the let
Smartphone Network.
No irritation. Yes, moped.
Let them know irritation. Let them know the queen of the revolution.
Moped Ultra Soft comes with 100% nylon-free surface and triple soft wings with no irritation. Your skin will love it.
Big news from Moped. Get new Moped Super Value Pack and save up to 25%.
Taste is key and that's how we communicate. Best nourishment in every school. Mama, taste it, mama. Share the love. We all together. I love my mama. Mama, taste it. Nourishing. Scoop it. Mama.
Mama, best scoop of tasty nourishment.
I am always thinking about your well-being, so when I learned that 7 out of 10 children in Nigeria are iron deficient and this slows their growth, affects learning, and can cause anemia, I got worried.
Mom is right. 1 sachet of Cerelac Junior with Iron Plus a day provides 50% of your child's daily iron needs to support proper growth and learning.
That's reassuring.
Cerelac Junior with Iron Plus. It's all good, Mom.
Someday when I grow up, I would like to be a great innovator, or a singer, or a doctor, or even a president.
I believe my son can achieve anything. That's why I support his dreams with Twisco. It's a delicious mix of cocoa, malt, and milk. Twisco is fortified with Enafort, a special blend of vitamins and minerals that provides the nourishing support to get ahead.
Twisco, power your dream.
Thanks for staying with us. So I just got information that our guests would not be able to make it. So we'll be opening our phone lines to hear Nigerians share their experiences, especially those of us that lived in Lagos. Now, we know that I'm trying to get the fact that we got warnings from the Nigeria Hydrological Services Agency about floods coming this year. And they had even said that what we saw on Friday is just the beginning, that the height of floods, especially down south, is from the peak, is by September. So we should brace up, that this is just the beginning. I know last year they warned us about 200 and something days. We didn't see it, so we thought that this year was going to. So this is almost like the start of many to come. So in your view, I mean, what can we begin to do? I mean, I would love to have a government official here tell us how, because we know it's not just in Nigeria. This flood happens around the world. Yeah. So it's not a Nigerian thing, it's not a Lagos thing. It's it's a mother nature, right? But what can we do as citizens, do you think, to mitigate or to help ourselves not be victims of these kind of situations?
So my fear was that when we heard the story that happened, the flooding that happened in Germany, in London, my fear is that Nigerians and Nigerian leaders are going to say, well, as you can see, it's a global issue. It's not about Nigeria or the leaders not doing what they're meant to do. But it's important for us to note, especially in Lagos, that it's not just a climate change issue. It's the fact that we're not disposing of our waste properly. We're clogging our drainages with all sorts of plastic. I mean, when you see some of the pictures, once that place is flooded, you see the amount of plastic just floating on top of the water. So you can imagine, why places like this will flood. And then we have issues of drainages. We have so much construction going on. I was talking to Nima also over the weekend, and she was talking about her area, the flooding, and like most of the construction going on. So you see roads, they'll put stones, to create roads, but the rain has come and pulled everything away. The bitumen is gone. Everywhere is blocked because of this thing. So for us, and I think our problem is the easy one. The climate change is a huge one, but the easy one is that we need to create those drainages. We need to clear those drainages. We need to do better as individuals, but our government also needs to do better in enforcing, the policies. We need to make sure that we have people stationed, we have systems stationed to clear those places and ensure that people are not clogging the places up. We need Loma in Lagos to do his job, especially in some of those areas where they've complained over and over again that waste is just left there for months and months on end, no one's clearing them. So that's what we need to start doing.
All right, let me take this call from Olabi. He's been holding for a while. Olabi, are you there?
Hello, good morning.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I think the government has to do a lot of things on this flood season here in Lagos. Yeah, Loma is not active. Not active. As for my estate now, okay, you coming once in a month is not ideal. And you came at the end of the day, starting to play 2005. Secondly, one thing that we have to understand, when you pack the waters out to play the swimming from the local government, you abandon it there. When the example on Friday, you couldn't get access to my estate, not to talk of the front of my house. So I wish you can just call the special advisor. Let us know where is going on this flood. It's really getting out of hand here in Lagos.
Right. Thank you.
It's a global issue.
Yeah, thank you very much, Olabi. So we know the parts, but just like let me echo what Mariam said. Yes, we know the parts of government, certainly. But it's always good for us to always remind ourselves too. We are culpable in this also because we throw out our trash. We don't even keep it. My God, people just throw waste. They don't bag it.
No.
Just throw it away. So when the floods come, it falls over and then it clogs up the drainages. BC, your thoughts on this?
I think we need to understand that this is a tropical area, especially those of us who live in this side of the country. And there's nothing we can do about natural occurrences like the flood. They've told us right now that the dams will be opening very soon so that they don't, burst open. So they have to release water. So we should be expecting, especially in September, more floodings to happen. And one of the things I notice is the drainages are beginning to work. So we're not seeing as much, but they are working because immediately after the rains, if you go around now, you don't see water anymore. It goes. So if the drainages aren't working, you will still have water till today. But the waters, immediately the rains stop, and the flooding, for a few hours, they just drain away. So government needs to give us more drainages. Government needs to pay attention to drainage system so that when the floods come, we can't avoid the flooding. But when it comes, once the rain stops, it just goes away and we can go back to our normal lives. And also, Miriam has also mentioned that we need to play our own part by making sure that we dispose our waste properly. But in terms of avoiding flood, I think we should just prepare our hearts for it. It will come. This is the season.
Let me take this call from Chief Bright from Owerri. Good morning, sir. Are you there?
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. You're live. Go ahead, please.
Yes, I'm Chief Bright from Owerri, Imo State.
Yes, go ahead. You are live.
Yeah, I want to first and foremost commend you. Here in Imo State, Owerri in particular, we enjoy your program. I'm a first-time caller today.
Wow.
So, what do we do? How can we help to make sure that this your program you add 1 or 2 hours? Because we enjoy your program so much. A program of beautiful lady, highly intelligent. So what do we do? Tell me just now. I am talking. Keep it up. I love you so much. Thank you very much.
Just write to our CEO and add money to it. We'll do 5 hours for you, sir. All right, so coming to you.
About the fact that Lagos, right from when I was in primary school, I was told that Lagos is largely below sea level. That was a norm. We were taught that most of Lagos is below sea level, which means that if anything happens, a lot of Lagos will get flooded naturally. Number 2, over time, climate change has eroded most of Bar Beach. Because I remember when I used to go to Bar Beach, when you, from the road, you're still walking like a kilometer before you get to where there is water, and then you descend beneath to get to where there is water. And I see Bar Beach now, I see the water just by the tide road.
But there's Atlantic.
And over time, that's like reclaiming land. So we already know that naturally Lagos is under threat of being overtaken by water. Then compounded with the issue of our lack of planning effectively for the challenges we know we'll face, now puts Lagosians at that crossroad of, well, how unfortunate can we be that we're in this place at this time? So I think that we cannot, targeting this issue would involve multifaceted solutions to the problem, and it must be done concurrently at the same time.
Okay, let me take this call from Dipo from Idimu. Are you there?
Yes.
You're live. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
I think the problem in Lagos State now is overwhelmed by this 52 local government we have. This local government cannot do anything. Then the state government cannot do much.
Hello, Dipo? Hello? Oh, I really wanted to hear his point.
So I was saying something, Murayo, about the roads. Whenever we're clearing drainages within Lagos, we see it all the time. Most of the drainages are cleared, are packed out, and put by the head of the road with the expectation that they would bring in the bigger trucks to take it off. But there's no speed in implementation of that process. I know for a fact that there are places in the past, last week, that I drove past and they did not pack those things. And with the rain that just happened, everything is back into the drainages. So it must, all hands must be on deck. Yeah. Everybody from the local government level, it must work together. If not, we will not see much, it will just get worse.
From reviewing the videos that we've seen and where the flooding came. So, for example, the parking lot in Marina, what can be done to raise it? What can go? Is it government's responsibility? Is it the park owners? What do you do to ensure that that place, yes, flooding will happen, but you put enough drainages? Because now we've seen the spots where can be easily flooded. Can we begin to have a plan towards ensuring that next time this flood happens, maybe next month, we do something, either make bigger drainages or raise some of these places for
something that can be done as is happening.
Right.
That particular lot, as I mentioned earlier when we were talking, is that in between other lots that were not flooded. So obviously there's a drainage issue concerning that. So something has to be done. You cannot, there's some things that you don't have to wait a month or a week. You do it just immediately. But I think what's so problematic about us is that we talk about this every year. You know, we even laugh amongst ourselves when we say, oh, is the time of the year again? Is the same story? In fact, this morning, when they were showing all the videos and things, the TV stations even repeat the pictures and the videos from many years before. Because it's just the same thing, the same information. People even say, are you sure it's this year? This looks like the car from last year. Because the same thing. And honestly, we do not see any improvement. I don't know where BC saw her own improved drainages. Kudos on you, but
the water's left.
I know, but I'm just saying that for many of us, it's just the same issue. The same
I think we still have the colors.
The same areas were flooded. Another thing, it could just be that the water was not as much. If it was 2 to 3 days water, it would have not.
Okay, let me take this call from Joel. Joel, are you there?
Hello, good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning, Murayo. Good morning, Tokwe, and the crew.
Morning.
My name is Joel from Odogunyo in Ikorodu, Lagos.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the show.
Thank you, sir.
This is my first time calling.
Welcome to the show.
So I want to comment concerning the flood situation in Lagos. I believe the major problem, we Nigerians are the problem of Nigeria. So I think the people on the LCDAs at the local level should really enforce. People are really dumping refuse in drainages across the state. And Loma should stop sweeping. They should reduce the way they sweep. They should concentrate more on those drainages. If during the dry season they concentrate on clearing all these drainages, even if there's flood, it will be reduced. But they keep sweeping and sweeping as if they are sweeping the houses. The public space, they should focus more. Flood is a problem in Lagos.
Thank you very much. Let me come back to Miriam. I'll come to you, but let me come because I know you're into environmental sustainability and all that. And I mean, everybody has a role to play. Yeah. I mean, so How can we bring the idea of recycling in this? What can we do, in your view? What must we do to support the government? Because the government can't do it alone. There has to be somebody, industries, manufacturers have to come and say, okay, I can use this waste. I can do something with these plastics. I can do something. What can we do to support government? So
I think first thing, what I notice is that we must stop making it an Oyinbo culture thing. And then find our local language and make it accessible. The language has to be accessible to Nigerians. I think Nigerians understand it, but when we talk about environmental sustainability, all of a sudden, these English-speaking people will just come out. So it's none of my business. But if we find local ways to educate them, to let them understand why what you're doing, what plastic how it will eventually affect you, your farms, the flooding will eventually affect where you stay in your local languages. And then the things that you can recycle that are local to you. So you already have paint buckets that you use. Many people use them for other things, you know. But if that language is not local and the issues and the methods, you know, and the solutions are not local to people, then it will seem like this is not something I should involve myself.
So there's something we do when you're building a place, especially when you're in Lagos. One of the things some of the landlords and developers do, I'm sure Tokbe will know this, is to ensure that they raise their homes or their compounds or their streets.
They call it piling or something.
Yeah, so they layer it with sand, granite and all of that, raise it way above so that when flooding and things like this happen, it doesn't get into the place. So there are some streets you go to with all this flooding that's happening, you don't see that water. That's what they need to do in that park. And I also need to say that I think our educational sector is not doing enough in terms of educating people on what they can do with waste. We have people who go to school who study all of these things. This is the time that we need their brain to tell us. All over the world, especially in Africa, people are beginning to find ways to use waste to generate gas, to generate electricity. Little places, or you put them in plastic buckets. If you go to YouTube, you see the videos, plastic buckets, and they can generate power for their own homes. So I'm not even waiting on government right now.
People oppose this.
Yes.
Because governments are there's priority
so
level.
I think individuals also need to start. Don't wait for governments. We know governments tell you there are a lot of things. They are looking for money here and there. Find ways to use the waste around your place to create something. That way you can use it.
I think Tokwe, remember when we went...
My just a last comment would be that if everyone sweeps the front of their house, the street will be clean. So everybody take care of your immediate environment and then we'll see improvement all around.
That's all we can take on that. Let's go on a break. When we come back, move on to other topics. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.
Minister for Enjoyment is what everyone calls me because I love to enjoy myself.
So creamy. So good.
Enjoyment Minister, can we get back to the meeting?
Sorry, Cowbell Evaporated Milk is delicious milk that is carefully formulated to retain its creaminess and great taste.
Even hubby loves the creamy taste.
So creamy.
So good.
You clean your teeth every morning, but that fresh breath feeling just doesn't last. The answer? Easy. You keep your teeth strong and healthy and give your mouth long-lasting fresh breath with new Oral-B 2-in-1 toothpaste. It helps strengthen your teeth and gives you long-lasting fresh breath.
So fresh, still fresh, and still fresh.
Stay strong, stay fresh. New Oral-B toothpaste for strong teeth and long-lasting fresh breath.
Children are gifts and a source of joy. When they are happy, we're happy too. But when they are down with sickness such as malaria, we become sad and worried. Not to worry, Camosunate Anti-Malarial for Children has always been there for years. Camosunate also comes in tablets for adults. Bounce back from malaria with Camosunate. Confirm if Camosunate is original by texting to... Read the leaflet inside. If symptoms persist after 3 days, please consult your doctor. Camosunate, effective anti-malaria for all ages. Marketed by Genith Pharmaceuticals Limited.
In a world of a pandemic, the need to relieve stress cannot be overemphasized.
Pride Rock Entertainment presents the most entertaining, mind-blowing comedy event of the year. The Chronicles of Hush Baby Live returns. Ya Daddy 15, the vaccine edition. Taking place on the 25th of July at the prestigious Eco Hotel and Suites, Lagos. Time at 6 p.m. Comedy vaccines by Dr. Destalker, Dr. Igo Save, Dr. Akbororo, Dr. Dan the Humorous, Dr. Bucci, Dr. Tamama, and many more physicians. Music vaccines by jazz music superstars, and on the wheels, your host, Hush Baby. For reservation and sponsorship, please call 0802-990-6500. Please note, this event is for a limited audience, with all COVID-19 protocols duly observed. Proudly supported by New Age Charger and TVC Max FM. Packaged by Larry Mako Events. Get vaccinated.
See, nurse, she's saying she feels unwell, despite my efforts to practice good hygiene.
Mom says wash your hands to keep the germs away.
Washing hands is good, but surfaces can also have germs, and you shouldn't use just anything for cleaning them. Use Jik. Jik's formula has been scientifically proven to stay active for longer, giving you whitening and germ kill protection on a variety of surfaces. Disinfect to protect, just Jik it. Endorsed by National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives.
Introducing the Save and Win Pali promo. Just save 10,000 naira or more monthly and stand a chance to win up to 5 million naira and other exciting prizes in the Save and Win Pali promo. Download the Union mobile app to open an account or visit the nearest Union Bank branch. Union Bank, your simpler, smarter bank.
Looking for some drama?
Yes.
Sit back and catch up with the slaps. Yeah, lots of slap. The drama is endless on TVC.
Thanks for staying with us. So last week, the activities at the National Assembly caught the attention of people as many Nigerians watched their representatives debate and vote during the passage of the highly controversial Petroleum Industry Bill and also the Electoral Amendment Bill. Joining us on the show is Honorable Sergius Ogun, a lawyer and a prominent member of the House of Representatives. Welcome to the show, sir. Hello, sir.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Yes, good to have you on the show. So we have a lot to discuss with you this morning. Let's start with the Petroleum Industry Bill. I mean, people have been coming from all sides of the country. Some have agreed to the 3%. Others were insisting on the 5%. And it's been a case of working against the interests of the people in the south part of the country. And a lot of young people in that region have said that they're going to do everything to work against the government going ahead with this 3%. In your view, give us the nature of discussions that happened in the House that led to the approval of 3%. And is there a possibility that it will be reviewed?
Well, my take will be that the only way to go now is to go lobby the president and see if he's going to return it to the House. And that's not likely to happen, considering the people behind this 3%. What they told us then was that they ran the numbers. They ran the numbers and they think that is good enough. And the painful thing about this whole thing was we had a couple of retreats in Lagos. We came back to Abuja, we had sessions. Initially, the South Side were asking for 10% after the public hearing, and the visit to the creeks. Even the chairman, even from the north, said then, from what they have seen, they will support 10%. And then when we came back, because we also saw the numbers that they ran, the South-South caucus said, okay, let's do 5%. And it was agreed upon. We did clause-by-clause consideration, and we adopted 5%. Till we went to the floor of the House and passed it in the House of Rep. We never heard of 3%. So we're surprised that the Senate passed 3%, and there was a conference, and they supposedly adopted 3%. So I don't know, like I said, all we can do is lobby the president, but they have also added another dimension that the gas has been fled from this region. The proceeds from it will no longer go to the government, but it will go to the host community. And one of the people from the secretariat ran the figures again, the numbers, and said to me, over $300 million will come from the 3%, and over $400 million will come from the gas fled. If you add this together, it's going to be over $800 million. And that we just advise that we take that for now, and that hopefully going forward, we might be able to do something in the nearest future. So I don't know if that's going to be good enough, but let's see what happens.
All right, sir. So for me, whether it's the 2.5% or 3% that is going to be given to the host communities, over the years, we haven't really seen anything meaningful out of that amount of money, which largely depends on the host communities to be able to develop themselves. But because we are fighting for one Nigeria, is it possible that there is a modality created on how that money can be effectively used and monitored in that host community so that we see the benefits? Is this something we should discuss while we are talking about the percentages?
There's a trust fund set up to manage this fund. To say we haven't seen the money put in that region in the past, from 13% derivation to NDDC to Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs, would be wrong, because the same people that set up these bodies have not allowed these bodies to function the way they should function. The NDDC is under the presidency. Why should that be? So you still have government directors working in NDDC that are not necessarily from the region. So it's a government, federal government body. I would have thought you would leave that to the governors of the oil-producing areas to nominate those that will chair and that will be the managing directors and all the other positions. They can sit down and draw up a program so that can be, they can work that into their own programs. If NDDC is going to do XYZ program in my state, I will not have to duplicate it. But that's not the case. NDDC is under the presidency. Then you talk about the Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs. That ministry should have been in the Niger Delta, not in Abuja. Go there and check the directors there. How many Southerners are there? I mean, South people. The contracts are being carted away. Elsewhere, same thing with NDDC. So now we have a trust fund to manage this fund, and this fund will be managed by the people from the community. So that's a good place to start. Because the 13% derivation goes to the state. But what we are saying in this bill, the host community funds would be applied in the host community. It might not be Uhuru, the magic might not happen overnight. It will mean that at least whatever comes in will be spent in the community.
All right, let me take a few more questions for you. Go ahead, Tokwe.
Okay, so 2 quick questions. First, I don't understand, and I feel I'm knowledgeable enough to understand, how does it work? If the House of Representatives passed a particular percentage and the Senate changes it, the Senate has more power than House of Representatives, but what else is the solution that can be done if the two houses do not agree? Because obviously the House of Representatives has something else in mind and the Senate has passed something else. How else can this be resolved? Because now you're saying we should appeal to the president without having to appeal to the president. What are the legal frameworks when the two House of Assembly don't agree on something?
there is a conference, usually when you have two bills like that passed by the chambers, and then when there are discrepancies, they set up a conference of equal numbers of both chambers, and they reconcile the differences. That's what happens. Then before the bill comes back to the House, and you pass it, and it goes for third reading. So in this case, I think the House have done their bit. But let me correct you. The Senate doesn't have more power than the House of Reps.
Okay.
We are mimicking the American model. And if you look at that, the third person in the hierarchy in that country is the Speaker of the House of Representatives of Congress. As in America today is Nancy Pelosi. But they will tell you because the vice president in that country is the head of the Senate. That is why you don't have the Senate president there. But in the event that we disagree on anything, and we say, let's put it to vote, I'm sure you already know the answer. We are 360 in the House, while there are 109 in the Senate. Even if they vote 3 times, they are allowed to rig the election in their own favor, and they vote 3 times, we will still defeat them. That is if we can muster, if we can get everybody to vote according to the ideals of the House.
Right. Let me go on a quick break, sir. When we come back, we'll continue this conversation with you. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
I am Funke Akindele Bello. As a mom, most times we get disturbed or being called for one thing or the other. You know our kids now. And oh, how they love to make us proud.
I mean, we love to see our kids happy.
Their happiness is our happiness. The same happiness we felt when we learned that the original Kellogg's cornflakes is here. The world's #1 is here. I got an invite to tour the Kellogg's factory. It was amazing. Trust me, we're in good hands. It smells so fresh.
It's real corn.
Super crunchy, super tasty.
It's because it's world's #1.
Go grab the new Kellogg's cornflakes now.
Breakfast time is Kellogg's time.
No, I'll pay rent tomorrow. I'll pay. It's a dream. So you see this peace of mind that I have? It's because I just finished building my house. Roller property. Roller property. They are the one that run it. Even though they are running a promo now, if you go and buy land from them outright, they will give you 20% discount. Even if you don't want to pay outright, you can still pay instrumental. You pay instrumental for 24 months. Meanwhile, after all of this goody that they have give you when they will still give you RAM when you deposit. They will give you electronic. They will give you food stuff. I'm even saying too much. I'm saying too much. Go to Roller Property by yourself. Go and find out.
Kehinde suffers from indigestion. His twin Taiyi suffers from heartburn. Sometimes it's the other way around, or both. That's why they use Gaviscon Double Action. It soothes within 3 minutes and lasts for up to 4 hours. For double relief from heartburn and indigestion, Gaviscon Double Action.
In a world of a pandemic, the need to relieve stress cannot be overemphasized. Pride Rock Entertainment presents the most entertaining, mind-blowing comedy event of the year. The Chronicles of Ush Baby Live returns. Yeah Daddy 15, the vaccine edition. Taking place on the 25th of July at the prestigious Eko Hotel and Suites, Lagos. Time at 6 p.m. Comedy vaccines by Dr. Destalker, Dr. Igo Save, Dr. Pororo, Dr. Dan the Humorous, Dr. Bucci, Dr. Tamama, and many more physicians. Music vaccines by Jazz music superstars, and on the wheels, your host, Ush Baby. For reservation and sponsorship, please call 0802-990-6500. Please note, this event is for a limited audience, with all COVID-19 protocols duly observed. Proudly supported by New Age Charger and TVC Max FM. Packaged by Larry Mako Events. Get vaccinated.
place and it brighten. Make everybody be wonder. Waiting because of the shine. Lush hair. Long hair or short doesn't matter. Crochet or dreadlocks can be better. Only for girls we know better. Lush hair. So you want to slay? Slay with swag. Gotta be lush hair. Gotta be lush hair. Straight or curly. You know they tango. Lie. Gotta be lush hair. Gotta be lush hair.
Beautiful people know how to make an impression, and that's why they only trust Lush Hair Extensions to bring out the shine in them. Lush Hair, be beautiful.
Thanks for staying with us. We still have Honorable Sergius Oguns with us. Mariam had a question before the break. Go ahead, please.
You know, sometimes in fighting for something, you know, people will say, why don't you take what you can now? And then when you find yourself at least in a more comfortable position to fight for the rest. So recently, I think it was 5th of July, it was reported that the former governor of Akwa Ibom, so that's current board chairman, Mr. Akpabio, was saying that you should allow for the bill to pass, whether it's 2.5 or 3%, and make sure that bill is passed first. Then you are able to push for higher percentage going forward. What do you think? Do you think that's another way to look at it? Do you think that would work, or it's better to fight for what you want right now, no matter how long it takes?
I kind of agree with that because I am not just a lawmaker. Was not just a member of the committee. I am also a player in the industry. I'm going to go back to this same industry when I'm done serving my people in the house. And I live in the Niger Delta. You know, I'm from Edo State. I did business in Warri, Delta State, and in Port Harcourt before coming here. And I know how this PIB has affected the industry. From when it was first muted, the oil companies, the majors, pulled back because nobody will invest money and will not know the return. You will need to know if you put the money, you need to know the fiscal, laws that will come up. So that has hindered a lot of investment. And as we would have heard lately, in the last 5 years, if we deduct to 2020, because not much happened, you will say in the last 4 years, over $78 billion being invested in Africa, in oil and gas. Only $3 billion came to Nigeria. And we are supposed to be the largest producer of crude oil in Nigeria. Why? Because of the same reason of investors not coming in. So I would have ordinarily adopted the position of Senator Akpabio. But the suspicion, or rather the challenge we have in this country is the mutual suspicion. Now, some people are saying you have the NDDC, you have Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs, you have the 30% derivation. Now we have given you 3%, go and manage it. Tomorrow they wake up and say, after all, if you crunch the figures, $800 million is enough money for those communities. Why are we even going to revisit this? After all, you accepted it. So my take would have been, well, if we can trust one another, let's go ahead and do this. That can give the investors confidence to come back and invest. And the boom will make money available for the nation and even for the host communities. So that would have been my advice. But it's just that the way things are done in this country, you say one thing today, government will wake up tomorrow and do a different thing entirely. And that's why we keep warning. You don't lie to your children when they are growing up.
Right.
Because if you lie to them, they will remember. They will. Tell us the truth, where you stand, and let us know if we have to come back to that discussion tomorrow. That discussion should still be on the table.
All right, I was going to move into the issue of the electoral process, but I'll do that in a second. I need clarity because this projection that was given from gas flaring and from it's a projection from 3%. So the $800 million that they're saying that 400 or 300 will come from gas flaring and 400 will come from this 3% is a projection, and maybe it's not really tangible. Maybe that's a fear that this figure might just not be exactly what they say it is. So what guarantee can the House give to the people in that region that, listen, this $800 million that we're projecting is a reality? Could that be an issue also for them?
Of course it will be. Well, it's not the House that's going to, well, if the House is going to give that guarantee, let the Senate that smuggled that in give the guarantee first. Just to also let you know, the day it was passed, I was not on the floor of the House because we staged the walkout, the minority caucus. And it was not listed in the other paper, but it was passed. So if I'm adopting the advice of the Minister for Niger Delta Affairs, Senator Akpabio, to say, let's even start with this. The sense behind this will be when the oil may just come back and invest, and we have activities, we might even get far more than what we are projecting now. Right. But don't shove it down their throats. Engage with them, appeal to them, crunch the numbers. But the way I see that is being done now is take it or leave it. I even heard some people out there were talking about what have they done with the agencies. Don't do that. Just don't do that. Don't even go there. Let's see how we're going to manage this. Oil is our mainstay. If anything happens in the creek tomorrow, this economy will be on its knees. So let's just appeal to them, crunch numbers, explain to them how it's going to work. Okay. If we do this and they have a buy-in, it will be win-win.
All right. Let me go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll move on to the issue of electronic transmission. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Calling all secondary school female students in Nigeria. This is your chance to demonstrate your debating skills and win great prizes too. The TVC Women's Network is looking for entries to our first ever female debate championship. If you want to take part, send a 300-word essay on the topic why female education is important in Nigeria. Send your essay via our website, tvccommunications.tv/TWN Female Debate Championship. Don't forget to include your name, age, and the name of your school. Closing date for entries is July 19th. The TVC Female Debate Championship, encouraging young Nigerian girls to speak up for nation building.
Kehinde suffers from indigestion. His twin Taiyi suffers from heartburn. Sometimes it's the other way around, or both. That's why they use Gaviscon Double Action. It soothes within 3 minutes and lasts for up to 4 hours. For double relief from heartburn and indigestion, Gaviscon Double Action.
Everybody want enjoy. Everybody want relax. Everybody want to glow. Nobody want carry last. Everybody want joy. Who don't like it better? And if you wanna talk to mommy, if you wanna talk your Friday, if you wanna run on time, if you want plenty data, if you wanna go do let me hear you say this supernova. 777.
The whole sensational world of love, now accessible through one code, *777#.
I am Funke Akindele Bello. As a mom, most times we get disturbed or being called for one thing or the other. You know our kids now. And oh, how they love to make us proud.
I mean, we love to see our kids happy.
Their happiness is our happiness. The same happiness we felt when we learned that the original Kellogg's cornflakes is here. The world's #1 is here. I got an invite to tour the Kellogg's factory. It was amazing. Trust me, we're in good hands. It smells so fresh.
It's real corn.
Super crunchy, super tasty.
It's because it's world's #1.
Go grab the new Kellogg's Cornflakes now.
Breakfast time is Kellogg's time.
See, nurse, she's saying she feels unwell, despite my efforts to practice good hygiene.
Mom says wash your hands to keep the germs away.
Washing hands is good, but surfaces can also have germs, and you shouldn't use just anything for cleaning them. Use Jik. Jik's formula has been scientifically proven to stay active for longer, giving you whitening and germ kill protection on a variety of surfaces. Disinfect to protect, just Jik it. Endorsed by National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives.
Thanks for staying with us. So this issue of electronic transmission and the bill that has been reviewed in the House. Honorable, are you still there with us?
Yes, ma'am.
So we're a bit confused. We appreciate the fact that there was physical voting that happened in the House over voice voting. That for me was a good thing, where the senators voted and we were able to know who voted what. But there's a confusion over the fact that it seems that NCC is now the person or the organization to decide how we go ahead with the transmission of results. So if NCC says, oh, I have a network across the country, then we go ahead. Oh, I don't, I only have 20%. We can, why are we giving so much power to NCC based on that's part of the reports I read in the papers today. Do you think that we are whittling down the power of INEC by depending on NCC to let us know how we can go ahead with the electronic transmission?
Well, again, that's the travesty in this whole thing. We run away from the truth, and the truth will come back someday and haunt us in this country. We had public hearing. INEC came and said they were ready to transmit for electronic transmission. Then, because in certain quarters, there is this fear that they might not win the next election, and because they want to stay in power, they started manipulating this whole thing. How do you explain that the chairman in the Senate that recommended that INEC should be given the discretion to apply whatever works will get up on the floor of the Senate and vote against his own recommendation? And his explanation was that he got a superior explanation that you did not get when the entire stakeholders came, including NCC during the public hearing. The operators were all there. Nigerians were there. Civil society were all there. You didn't get any superior advice before you put that recommendation forward. Then I'll quickly refer you to Senator Smart Adeyemi, who claimed that he won the election in Kogi, that it was when they moved the ballot papers, they were going to a collation center. That was when Senator Dino Melaye connived with INEC people. They stopped by the bush side and adjusted the figures. That was how Dino won. That same man on the floor of the Senate won the case eventually against Dino. Anyway, that's why he's there now. Will vote against transmission of votes electronically. It doesn't make any sense. It's not in this part of the world that people reason like that. If your child reasons like that, you almost disown the child. It doesn't make any sense. Now, because even the paper backup will still be there. You transmit electronically, the paper backup will still be there. So what is the fear? I don't understand. NCC sent somebody who could not substantiate anything. The Minister of Communication and Digital Economy is supposed to be the head of NCC. He wasn't available. The Executive Vice President and CEO of NCC was not available. They sent supposedly a high official from their establishment who didn't know the difference between broadband and bandwidth, who didn't know the difference between the fact that you have to transmit results through 2G and 3G, and even LGE. But what we know that's required is just a text message. They type the name and the party, and they forward. We did that in Edo 2020. I was a party to that. I saw how it was transmitted. But the truth is, INEC actually have been doing this, but they just want the legal teeth, the legal backup to do that. In my election in 2015, in my village, that is very remote, my result was transmitted. I saw the lady typing it. She told me she had issues with she had a challenge with the transmission, that it will not go because of network. But as we were there talking, this is a world coalition, not local government. As we were talking, the thing went. My quarrel with her was, why did you not show me what you are sending? When you had issues, you told me when the coalition center together. But she said she didn't think about it, but it just went. And that was okay. 2015, I'm talking about 2015.
All right, let me
talk about hacking server that INEC started denying that they didn't use the server.
Right, okay,
but
let me get a few more questions in for you.
Budgeted for it.
So it seems to me that we have capacity to do this electronic transmission. Now, why are people fighting against it? There are, conspiracy theories that because, certain people want to be able to have the power to do the election rigging, and that is why it seems like there is a fight against this electronic transmission. But from this analogy, it seems like we have the capacity. Why isn't the House pushing that we have this passed as a bill, since we have the capacity? Why isn't everybody talking about it?
That's the unfortunate thing. That is why the youths of this nation should rise up. If we really agree that our votes count, if they believe, the politicians, including myself, believe that our votes count, they will do the right thing. The agencies saddled with the responsibility in Section 78 of the Constitution came out clearly to say we have the capacity to do it. That is why I even took you back to 2015. They have been test running this. Osun 2018 governorship election. They did that.
Wow.
That election was a bit difficult for.
But you must agree, sir, you must agree that Senator Ndume, who was objecting to this, he specifically said there are towns in certain parts of the north that don't have network at all. So you can speak from your own community because that's your constituency. But should we then not consider the other parts of this country that may not have transmitters at all?
That's not true. That's not correct. INEC said, even during the public hearing, their devices will catch any network around there. INEC said that. One of my colleagues from Borno said that there's no network in his village, that the bandits or the Boko Haram blew the towers, but that they get orange from Chad, orange network from Chad.
But they can't.
But that is network. And INEC already answered this, that they have devices that will catch any available network anywhere. In the 8th Assembly, I went for an oversight in Cross River State. We were in Bakassi. And then what came into my phone started roaming orange. When I'm not able to take a call, the voice message, they are speaking French. Somebody called me to say, where are you? I say, I'm in Calabar. But your phone, they are speaking French. I said, because they are roaming. The phone is roaming itself. So these guys, okay, now there's a senator you heard on the floor. They said there's no network in his village. This was a former governor from 1999 to 2007. No, not even that. He claimed there's no network, but it came out in the news now that the NYSC camp in that state is in his village. He moved it there because, and then they had network there before they got network in the state capital. So why? Like I said, we tell our children not to lie.
Yes,
and we get up on the floor of the House, on the Senate, and we are lying to the whole world. And our children are watching this. Is that not a contradiction? Are we not setting up crisis for these young ones? Or because it's politically expedient to lie?
All right, let me get a few more questions in for you, sir.
As a nation.
Go ahead, Mariam.
There's something I find sad. Sometimes we tend to use the in the north so that people will not question it too much or touch it like, well, in the north. So, you mentioned that this is time for youth to stand up and demand for what they want. And many times we have seen youths ask of their representatives. You know, we've talked about recalling representatives. We've insisted you hear their voices on papers of the newspaper, on social media, and we don't get, it just doesn't reflect at the National Assembly. For me, this is very important. Electronic transmission is important. What would a youth now sitting down in their villages in the north, who can watch TV, who are making calls and doing all sorts of things on networks, what can that person do today, or with a group of other youth in their communities, to make sure that this bill is passed so that even their areas will get electronic transmission during the election?
Let them begin to talk to their leaders. The youth can organize themselves. They are everywhere, and they have the numbers. If they use this to send a strong message to the politicians, they are going to ignore them most likely. But by the time they vote them out, because even if you say you don't want to transmit electronically, and you go ahead and do manual and write whatever figures you want to write, who are those that escort the ballot papers? It's the same youth.
Yes.
Now, in the last election in 2019, Imo State, they killed people. We lost one of our colleagues in Oyo. One of my colleagues said he was almost killed in Cross River because of the collation center wahala. People go there to cause all manner of things. People are tampering with figures. But when you transmit from the world,
right,
anybody going to the collation center and the FGA is just wasting his time, because that data is already in the server in the headquarters,
right,
and in the state capital. That's how it works. But
right,
people that do not want us to move forward in this country,
all right, let me take
for
this
fear of remaining in power, or for fear of being voted out.
Let me take this
and
call from Yola.
What I'm saying, the youth can rise up, let them know they have the strength, and vote them out. Then they will have a rethink.
Let me take this call from Yola, sir, so that we can get our viewers in. Aminu, are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
Go ahead, please.
Yeah, the gentleman in your studio
yes,
is only trying to be emotional for no reason.
Okay.
Every politician, number one purpose for him to be in the election is to win. So we must first and foremost understand that we are people, we must be honest to ourselves.
Okay.
Whether it is electronic, whether it is paper, whether it is anything, we should first and foremost be honest. Let's just be honest.
Okay.
The gentleman is saying the youth should rise up. Rise up for what? We should rise up for all honesty. That is the number one thing. That is what is lacking in us. We don't believe in ourselves. We don't believe in our system. And everybody is just trying to create emotion where there is none.
Aminu, let me ask you what your position is. So do you agree that we should have electronic transmission, or do you feel that there are places in certain parts of the country, like the north, that don't have transmission access? In Yola, do you even have in Yola?
See, Mrs. Morayo,
yes,
let me just tell you, whether it is electronic, I am for the best. If electronic is the best, if it is electronic that is the best for us to get what we want, so be it. But first and foremost, is electronic not exposed to challenges? It is. Who is to define that we are capable of doing it? Is it INEC?
Yes.
Is it NCC? Who is capable of deciding? Is it the network provider? So these are fundamental questions. They shouldn't drive us to emotions.
Yeah. Thank you, Aminu. Let me come to the Honorable based on what Aminu is saying, because what I'm hearing Aminu is saying that even if we agree on electronic, there are issues. It could be hacked. There are electronical, there are technical issues that could happen. So yes, we're saying blankets, yes, do transmission, but he's also saying it's also not infallible in different ways. Do you agree, Honorable? Then I'll come to Mariam. Oh, yeah.
You vote with a paper. Your ballot paper is a paper that you put in the ballot box. Nobody is saying that we are going to discard that.
Okay.
So that one is still a document that is a backup.
Right.
Even if you have the server, what about the paper? Are they going to destroy the paper? The paper is still there. So the bill is not saying you should trust the manual and go ahead with the electronic. Both of them will be there.
Right.
So just to answer Aminu, I don't know what the sentiment or emotion is here. The people that should know INEC came out and say they have the capacity, the capability to do this. If you are talking about hacking, don't you all have account numbers? Are you scared that they will hack your account number, your bank will go bankrupt, and NDIC will give you 50K, give you 50,000? You still have money in the bank. The flights you take, there are computers. Pilots are complaining that the planes, the computers are taking charge. They are not allowing them to use their discretions. But do you not still fly? You still fly, don't you?
Right.
So when people are talking about hacking, I don't understand. Everything we do today. Okay, MTN, they have your data. Glow, the telcos, they have your data. Why is it not being hacked every day? Look at what's up. Everything about your life is there.
Point taken. Let me get a few more. I have a lot of questions for you. Go ahead, Tokwe.
Okay, sir, please. My worry is, it's obvious that you have the sentiment of this should be the case. There should be electronic voting. And you're feeling like your voice isn't heard because you're in the minority on the floors of the National Assembly. But the National Assembly has constituted a process for this thing to take place. And what would be your line of action? For, you already said that we should go out, we should vote and vote opposition, but whatever you say will be counted because you're a PDP person and you're against the APC generally. How can we on a non-partisan level, deal with this situation where it won't be is APC or PDP, number one? Number two, is there a way we can expunge the NCC part of this bill?
NCC don't even have a role to play in this. Because we budget billions for INEC to run election. They have a server, they have a card reader, the smart card readers that has everything to take this. And they have told us that much. The Constitution gives them power to do this. I don't know why we're even debating this. Look at the gentleman that was sent from NCC. He's giving us 2018 data. This is NCC. That out of 119,000 polling units, they were not able to cover 8,000 polling units. Well, today we have 176,846 polling units with the new units that are created. But that does not mean that you have created new units in the desert or in the forest. Basically, these are co-joints, co-location units. Like in my place, we have one unit in my polling units in the village. Now we have two. So it doesn't mean that they have not created one in the forest. It's still about the same area. But the same NCC has the information that they have covered, can cover 90% of the country. And there's a fund called Universal Service Provision Fund. That fund is 2.5% of the annual operating levy of the telcos, of the telecommunication companies. 1% of that fund is spent on this USPF.
Right.
What is USPF for? To cover areas that are unserved and underserved, which means every community in this country should have coverage.
Right.
So that
let me take this call from Joss. He's been holding for a while. Sorry. Good morning, sir. Are you there? Oh, I'm so sorry. Lost that call. I do apologize. We're holding for a long time. Yes, Mariam.
Yes, I just wanted to say something that, for us regular Nigerians, I know we have, Mr. Sergio's on, but for us regular Nigerians, when we have things like this, that is pushing for better development and things to be done better for us, let's take away sentiments of religion, ethnicity, party, put that aside. Electronic transmission will have its weaknesses, just as the paper one has its weaknesses, and so much more. And we've seen how that thing has affected our electioneering over the years, and this is a better option. Instead, what we should be talking about is, how is it better? Isn't INEC capable, or doesn't INEC have the authority to tell us if they can or cannot? They've been running elections in our country since democracy. Why are we finding INEC is a body? Why are we finding it hard to believe INEC? And then we're now pitting each other against party lines. This is important development for every Nigerian in the south or in the north. Is it not better to know that the vote you put in is counted? That's all we're saying. We just want to make sure that when I put my vote, it is counted. That's what I want to say.
Is it a question? Oh, it's a comment. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's a comment. I mean, he could say something about it.
So I'm thinking we have just shot a few more minutes, but I wanted to quickly talk about the campaign expenses that has been increased, for presidential elections, governorship elections. I think for the presidential, they did 1 billion to 15 billion. And a lot of people are saying that this is going to further disenfranchise regular Nigerians who really want to serve. What is your take about that?
It's the hypocrisy. We live a lie in this country. There is no presidential election that you will fund even with 15 billion. Let's just run the numbers. Those that should know told us in Edo State that they brought some couple of days before the election in Edo State, the governorship that happened last year. They brought 5 billion with a plane into Edo State. Then on the eve of the election, they brought another 3 billion with a helicopter. The party that brought that is just an attempt to rig the election. But I was telling a member of that party who should also know. He said to me, we even had far more than that number, that amount of money on ground before we asked for reinforcement. But yes, they lost the election. If Edo State, to lose Edo State, you expended over 15 billion. How much are you now going to spend for presidential election? Ask, let them tell you the truth. In Lagos, to get Lagos, I'm sure PDP in 2015 spent over 15 billion in Lagos alone.
Yes.
Those that took Lagos outspent PDP to retain Lagos. So why are we lying to ourselves? Let's be honest for once. The politicians know this. Call the National Party chairman, let them tell you the truth. Now we saw the NCC guy on oath in the National Assembly, on the floor of the House of Reps, lying through his teeth on oath. Should such a guy not be charged today? Look, I am very sick of this system, and that's the truth. I am a businessman, and I'm thinking of going back to my business. Let's live the life of these people. They will lie and go and do confession, but there's God watching all of us.
All right,
this is not sentiment, this is no emotion. My life doesn't depend on politics, but we should call these people to order because they are ruining the future of our children. Okay. This is the only country we have.
All right, thank you very much, Honorable Goguns. Well, thank you very much for joining us this morning. There's a lot of talking points on this, but we have to wrap up at this point. We've been speaking with Honorable Sergius Oguns, a lawyer and a prominent member of the House of Assembly. That's all we can take on the show today. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.
We are StarTimes, the most affordable digital pay TV platform with the widest signal coverage in Nigeria, dedicated to bringing the best TV entertainment around the world to your screen. From Hollywood to Bollywood to Nollywood, we offer the most affordable subscription. Enjoy over 75 channels for as low as 1,700 naira, like Nat Geo Wild, BBC, ESPN, and premium sports like Emirates FA Cup, La Liga, Bundesliga, wrestling. What's more exciting? We have the most flexible payment options in Nigeria. Don't dull. Join us now for an exciting journey. StarTimes. Enjoy digital life.
The following is a paid presentation by ShopX TV.
Imagine replacing your entire cookware set with a collection of the finest pans designed and made of the highest quality craftsmanship. And imagine your entire cookware set built using Ceramitech, a new generation of healthy ceramic non-stick technology, meaning nothing will stick to your pan. ShopX TV is proud to introduce the Copper Chef Supreme Collection. Each pan in the Supreme Collection features Copper Chef's innovative stainless steel induction plate that heats your food quickly and evenly with no hot spots, making it perfect for any surface: electric, gas, ceramic, and induction. And because you are cooking with ceramic non-stick, you don't have to add all that extra fat and butter. Our Copper Chef pans are also heat-proof up to 850 degrees. Incredible! Now you can prepare, cook and serve a wide variety of meals to your family and guests with the new Copper Chef Supreme collection.
What I love about the Copper Chef pan is that it's quite multi-purpose. You can use it on your induction hob, you can use it to boil it, to fry, to bake and to braise. The Copper Chef is amazing.
Copper Chef is the only pan I use in my kitchen. I love it.
With over 1 million units sold worldwide, Copper Chef is taking the cooking industry by storm and is now available in Nigeria exclusively from ShopX TV. You could be paying over 500,000 naira for a collection of pans that are not even non-stick. But call the number on the screen now and get the Copper Chef Supreme collection for not 500,000 naira, not even 300,000 naira, but just 119,950 naira. This incredible ShopX TV offer includes 2 standard